Okay, so now what we're going to do is going to take that pentatonic scale that we broke up and we're going to improvise with it. And we're going to do it in those sections. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So one of the common things that students do when they first start working on this is they keep moving around. You know, you think, oh, I got all these notes, I got to play through them. Worse yet is you usually go through the whole scale like that, but again, we're working on a smaller section. What we really need to do is let notes ring out. Hit a note, let that ring out, then go through a couple notes, you know, a little quicker. Let another note ring out. All those nice notes that ring out and then prolong the, the lead lines. That's what really makes those leads make sense, and it really sounds like phrases. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So here we go. I'm going to start on this root right here. You can use either root. So you see what I'm talking about? You want to let those notes ring out. And just keep it nice and simple like that. You know, don't try to shred. You know, later on when you get better at it, you can start to quicken it up and, you know, get into that, you know, the shredding kind of stuff. But for now, you want to keep this really, really simple and work on your phrasing. So there you go. So there's that lower half. Now you want to do the same thing with the upper half. So let's do a little bit of improvising with that. And also, before we move on, I don't know if you noticed, but I used a note that was outside of this box. I use this next note. It's perfectly fine. You know, as long as you're focused in this area, you know, it's okay. There's not a rule that says, oh my God, you can't play any other notes. Yeah, you can jump out of it for a second, and then come back into that pattern. You want to focus on smaller patterns. I'm going to break it down even more later on, but for now, we want to do that. So let's now go ahead and do the upper half. And again, notice how I go and let notes ring out. So here we go. Let's put the backing track on. And I'll start with the upper one. Did you notice that? How I let notes ring out, and I'm not constantly, again, you don't want to be going. It's just not going to make any sense. That's really, really important. You gotta let those notes ring out, because otherwise it just sounds like you're meandering, playing exercises. Those notes that prolong over a period of time, you know, even pauses and stuff like that. That's what really makes the phrases form. So keep that in mind. And again, keep coming back to those roots. You know, you want to do that often because that is your tonal center. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these two different sections here, and we're going to improvise within those. We're going to play in the lower section for a little bit, then in the upper section, back to your lower section, back and forth. So you're not constantly going up and down, or you're not staying in one little area for too long. Yeah, you want to be moving around, give a little bit different of a feel. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So here we go. Start in the lower section. Upper. Lower. Upper. Lower. There you go. There's the two different sections. You see how that worked? I lower section for a little bit, went up in the higher section, back in the lower section. And again, you don't have to go crazy worrying about, oh my God, I gotta stay in the upper section. I can't hit any of these other notes. That's all right. You can kind of like blend them in. There's nothing wrong with that. But the object is to kind of stay in smaller sections, number one. Number two is to let notes ring out. Don't be constantly moving up and down, up and down. You don't want to be moving all the time. It just sounds too busy and it just doesn't make any sense and doesn't form phrases. So let those notes ring out. So now it's your turn. Go ahead, grab some backing tracks. You can go to YouTube and find tons of them and just improvise with those tips. And most of all, have fun.